Pokemon Legends ZA has finally released, and is it worth it? Is it worth being the most expensive Pokemon game ever made? Well, I pushed myself to finish the game. And I can say pretty confidently, no, obviously not. We all knew it wouldn't be. Game Freak can't make a game worth $40, let alone the $550. Yes, the number keeps going up. The game actually costs to get the complete product. And even ignoring the price, the game is a disappointment in so many ways. It was so funny hearing people speculate. Sure, the game only takes place in one city, but this is France we're talking about, which has catacombs, so I bet there's a huge underground area like Tears of the Kingdom. Underground area? You can't even go in the buildings! In a city! You're expecting above and beyond when Game Freak can't even do the bare minimum. Game Freak's motto is to underpromise and still underdeliver. A small map taking place in a single location with no variety city in that one area isn't even complete. I don't consider a city complete when you can't go in the buildings. But enough of that. I'm skipping ahead a bit. We'll have plenty of time to talk about the world. I just want to illustrate to you that this is prevalent throughout the entire game. It's something that you already expect to be kind of underwhelming, and it's somehow worse than that. Not that the game's all bad. I mean, just look at this Mareep. Look at him jump around. Doesn't it bring you joy? It just makes me smile. And they did try a new combat system, and Game Freak hasn't tried something new in decades. So you gotta at least give them some props for that. And the collect them all aspect has been greatly improved. You no longer have to catch 700 Starly to complete the Pokédex, which makes collecting them all something actually fun and interesting to do. That's all I got for the positives. If you were expecting a unbiased review where we really go over the pros and the cons, you came to the wrong
Box.gg dropped a limited box with a first edition rocket pack. While opening it,
Yes, the predatory loan sharks are
YouTube is dope.
Let's go! Good guys, the heroes of the game. How, you ask? Well, of course, the indentured servitude, the literal slavery. Every time you make a video criticizing Nintendo or Pokemon, there are always people being like, oh, it's the Nintendo fanboys, the Pokemon fanboys, they're gonna get you. These aren't fans. A fan of something loves it. If you love Pokemon, why are you okay with it being dumpstered on constantly? I'm sick and tired of a billion-dollar franchise being treated like it's made by some small indie company while they charge us as much as they possibly can for what is supposed to be a spin-off. $70 game, $30 DLC, $20 Switch Online, $450 console just to play the full game and have it run properly. But that's enough preamble. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and it's time to give you 10,000 reasons why this game isn't worth $70, it's not worth $80, and it's definitely not worth $500 to get the full experience. In fact, by the end of this, I'd be surprised if you wanted to play it for free. Let's talk about the world first. Something that people are rightfully concerned about, that the entire map is just one city. And all of your fears have been realized, and probably worse, because it's a city where all the doors are painted on. Aside from a handful of story locations and some battle cafes, which are basically empty, you cannot enter any buildings, not even stores. You remember every other video game ever made? You enter a store, you talk to the counter, you buy some stuff, a couple NPCs are around, maybe they have useful information, maybe give you an item, maybe add a little flavor to the world. Nope, nothing. You get a menu. Modeling the inside of a building is far too much effort in a game that has one location. One! The game released over a decade ago with an entire region has a more believable city than the game that is only about this city. And I don't know what people were smoking to think the game would have catacombs. You get 2 underground areas. 2, which are just a series of hallways. Maybe it has some engaging puzzles, maybe platforming challenges, maybe a bunch of dangerous wild Pokemon you have to dodge past. No, nothing. A series of hallways you run through. There you go. There are those catacombs everyone was so excited about. It's just a sewer, you know, where this game belongs. So given the entire entire world is just the surface of one city, not including the insides of any of the buildings, what could possibly make exploring this world interesting? Nothing. The answer is nothing. They have done nothing to add variety to a single location. The city rooftops you explore from the beginning of the game is exactly the same as the one you're doing at the very end. There is no meaningful difference through any of it. You don't even get new movement abilities. You get one. You know, in the last game, you could fly, you could climb, you could do all this cool stuff. Now, you get one midair jump, and you can only do it while falling. So it's not even like a double jump. That's it. So the whole game is just this, what you're seeing right now. Do you see what I'm saying? When the game is interesting for 3 hours maybe, and then it gets real old real fast. But of course, the variety comes from the wild areas. The wild areas are sectioned off city blocks or parks where wild Pokemon can be caught and attack you. Actually, they can do that through the rest of the city too, but they're more common here. So surely there must be some variety there. No, there isn't. It's just more city blocks or a small park. That's the entire variety. The most different it gets is one wild area, just one, has some snow. Isn't that exciting? A regular game has you going from snowy mountaintop to swamp, to cave, to forest. What do you get in this? You get park or rooftop. That's the whole game. 20 hours. Park, rooftop, one sewer section. It's a joke. So the world itself is boring, but who cares? What about the things that you do in that world? Maybe that's cool. Of course not. You have your Ubisoft collectibles, like screws that you get for completing platforming challenges, and I'm using the term platforming really loosely, which you can use to get an EXP boost, maybe get resources faster, catch Pokemon easier, because the game wasn't easy enough already. You also have crystals all over that you have to make your Pokemon use moves on them to break them, which slows down the pacing of the game, because you need to collect a whole lot of them to get some of the Mega Stones. I guess finding TMs is pretty cool, but in order for the finding to be fun, the exploring has to be fun, which exploring the exact same copy copy-pasted rooftop 500 times is not fun. And the funny thing is, I could forgive all of this if at least moving around was fun. But no, you get nothing. No bike, no roller skates, remember those? No riding Pokemon, nothing. Just run around and the worst double jump you've ever seen. Scarlet and Violet could get away with having a barren, empty world because at least it was fun to move around. You could run real fast and jump real high and fly. It was fun to move around. Here you get nothing, because if they gave you anything, you'd realize how small, uninteresting, and lame the world is. I mean, how could you have all these platforming challenges if you could jump and fly? Who wants to climb buildings? It's not like that's been in every game ever. All right, so it's not fun to explore, not really anything cool to find. What about the side quests? Well, the game has a ton of side quests, at least 100, maybe more. But unsurprisingly, when there's that many of them, they're real bad. They're about as lazy as they could possibly get. There are only 3 side quests. It's Battle Guy, Go Walk Over There, or Show Me Pokemon. And because it's a Game Freak, it is much worse than it sounds. It's watch a cutscene, Battle Guy, who has 3 Clefairy that know only Metronome, so it's impossible to lose, then watch another cutscene and get rewarded with basically nothing. And that's about half. Maybe half of the side quest is just battle person who has 1 Pokemon, maybe 2, impossible to lose, and get rewarded with nothing. It's money, which is worthless in this game. You get an insane amount of it, or it's a TM you don't need, or it's berries. End game missions. In fact, some of these side quests are post-game, and you get berries as the reward. And these are the better side quests. How about watch a cutscene, follow the Pokemon, watch another cutscene, follow them again, watch another cutscene, follow them again. And it's not like you're doing anything, you're just walking there. Maybe there's a jump, which all culminates into a battle with a singular wild Pokemon. Isn't that incredible? And these are multiple. There are multiple side quests that are just this. And then finally, a bunch of missions that are just, hey, do you have every color of Floette? Cool, good job, thumbs up. And I'd say those 3 things are like 90% of the side missions. And everything in between isn't better, it's worse. Like, how about just use a move on this stationary object? Good job, you did it. That was worth the multiple cutscenes. I keep emphasizing the cutscene part because these honestly wouldn't be that egregious if it wasn't for the constant pausing. You get 30 seconds of gameplay where you completely obliterate them and then 2 minutes of pauses. The best side quest is one I did in the very beginning, and it's just a go walk over there quest. But at least it's a sort of hidden area, and as a reward, you get a shiny Mareep, and I love Mareep. That's the bar, by the way. The bar the rest of the quests can't meet. The expectations, they were just so low, and yet somehow too high. And that's the game world. Boring, lacks variety, nothing to see or find, not fun to try. reverse, and it's everything you should have expected and worse. Now, before we get to the gameplay, I want to talk about the story just a little bit. No spoilers yet. Not that the game really has a story to spoil, but if you really don't want to hear anything about it, use the timestamps to skip this section. Now, you're a part of a crew of a couple dweebos, and the leader of your crew is in debt to a loan shark. And I'm talking a real loan shark. Your team leader likes to help people out around the city, helped one of the loan sharks, and as a reward, she got offered a loan to make a video advertisement for the hotel you guys stay at. And in the hidden fine print, they specifically say it's tiny text she could not read. It has an insane interest rate where this 100,000 Poké loan accrued 1 million Poké in interest over the course of a couple days. Not years, days. So you go to the loan sharks because you got to help your friend out, and they put you into indentured servitude. You have to do their bidding to pay off not the loan, just the interest, and it's potentially forever. They make it clear that you might have to work for them forever. It's however long they want you to work. So in this Pokemon game, there are creditors who enslave you through predatory loans, and guess what? They're the good guys! Yes, the predatory loan sharks are good guys, the heroes of the game. How, you ask? Well, of course, the indentured servitude, the literal slavery, because you are not paid, and it is not clear when, if ever, the debt would ever be repaid, is actually community service. They're making you do good things. Can we talk about for just a second how insane this is? That this is actual propaganda? That they're trying to sell creditors, the most evil people on the planet, who would drown you in the liquefied remains of your entire family for 4 cents? That tricking and then enslaving someone over a mountain of debt is righteous because they're doing it for the right reasons. I know I say Nintendo is evil, and it's a bit of an exaggeration, a good YouTube thumbnail. This is actually evil. An innumerable number of human lives have been destroyed under the weight of debt and interest. And they're teaching children. This is a children's game. They're like, Lil Timmy, the creditor's a good guy. I know you lost your house and you're living on the street now, but that investment banker really needed that 10% so that he could make the city a better place. When I said I was gonna teach the kids about the Federal Reserve, they were supposed to be the bad guys! Anyway, I just think it's a bit silly that the giant evil mega corporation is trying to teach our children that debt collectors are good, and that tricking someone into going into debt is super cool and fun. Now for the slightly bigger spoilers. Not that I'm spoiling anything that happens. Is it even a spoiler to say what doesn't happen? The whole plot of the game is, ooh, rogue mega evolution, and ooh, wild Pokemon going crazy. And there's a mega corporation that's setting up the wild zones to keep in all of these wild Pokemon. And they're in control of Lumiose Tower, which no one can enter and is emitting strange energy. And as a player, you're immediately like, oh, they're evil, right? The mega corporation controls everything, creates wild areas throughout the city where you take an apartment complex and a small business, and it is now surrounded by dangerous Pokemon that attack you on sight. You now have to fight for your life just to go home. So clearly these guys must be evil, right? Nope, they're not evil either. Nobody's evil. The game does not have an evil team, doesn't even have any bad guys. There are no villains in this game. This is what I'm talking about, where I'm saying the game might as well not have a story. The villain of the game, if you call it that, is just big old guy made a defense structure for the evil team back in Gen 6, and now it's going crazy. So you have to go stop it. That's it. No evil team, no grand plan, no ideals fighting against each other, nothing. Everyone's a good guy. Riveting. I just don't see why Nintendo and Game Freak would make the giant mega corporation and debt collectors good guys. Really makes you think, huh? It's funny because they even mock you in the game. There's a crowd of people being like, I know you guys are behind all of the rogue mega evolution. I know you guys are behind this. And you have to fight these people off. And I'm like, surely there must be a twist. Nope, no twist. The big evil mega corporation is a good guy. You will pay $70 for the game. You will pay $30 for the DLC. You will pay $20 for Switch Online. And you will pay $450 for the new console. We're the good guys. You're evil for questioning us. Whatever. No more spoilers. Spoiler time over. On to the gameplay. Now, the big selling point of ZA is the real-time combat, and I hate it. I really don't like it. It's not egregious, but it's really just spam all your attacks to win, which wouldn't be too bad, because the animations are pretty cool, but it's just so jank. The real problem is you can't order your Pokemon to move around without using a move, and even then, it's an invisible targeting reticle, so you'll use a move like Surf, which targets the enemy Pokemon, no problem. The attack will always come from and go to exactly where you expect. But then you use a move like Psychic, which actually targets a few feet in front of you, meaning the Pokemon who just surfed through someone now has to run all the way back to you to then start charging the attack, and only once that's done do they finally just attack the enemy. On its own, this makes the combat feel sluggish, because it's wait for the move to charge, use the move. Wait for your Pokemon to run off somewhere to then charge another move. What's even worse is fainting, because your Pokemon would have won and attacked faster, but decided to do a little run instead. It's not like it matters that much, because again, you're not really losing any of these fights anyway, but it just feels bad when half the time you're not actually attacking, you're either running around or charging. What makes it worse, and it is something they had to do, is when your Pokemon switch in, they do a big cry, because you can dodge an attack by switching, so it'd be kind of unfair if you could immediately act after that. But this also occurs when your Pokemon is fainted, meaning you just lost a Pokemon, you throw in a new one, and they immediately get a free hit on you. It's all just intentionally unresponsive. I want to hit the button and then something happened. I don't care what you have to do to make that occur, but that's what every other game does, and I like it that way. I hit the button, something happens. Immediately, not later, now. It also doesn't help that the Pokemon can just get stuck on stuff. Using Talonflame was a nightmare. It got stuck on everything. And it just won't attack, because if it can't make it to the other Pokemon, it just won't do anything. Also, your attacks can get stuck on lips. Like a tiny little lip on the ground can block your attack, and now you just did 0 damage and they hit you. I feel like I'm complaining about nothing though, because Mega Evolution is so OP, none of this matters. One Mega can usually sweep an entire team, because the game has a Mega Bar now. As you deal damage, you get more points in your bar. When it's full, you can Mega Evolve. You can also use points in your bar to use plus moves, which just make your moves do more damage. All Megas only use plus moves, meaning not only do you get the huge stat boost, but all of your moves deal more damage too. It's insanely overpowered. You can sweep entire teams with just your Mega, and because it's a bar that fills over time, you can Mega multiple times in one fight. And this is a cool part of the game. A big problem with Mega Evolution is Megas are super cool, and I want only Megas, but there's no reason to ever have more than one. But now you can Mega Evolve multiple times. Mega Evolutions are insanely OP, so you're incentivized to have a team of all Megas, which is cool. I like Megas. It's also important to have a team of all Megas for the boss battles. Periodically through the game, you're going to have to fight a rogue Mega, and that means they're giant for some reason and have 1,000,000 health, and they only take real damage from plus moves. And Megas are by far the most efficient way of using plus moves. So you're going to want a Mega that is super effective on the boss, or it's going to take a year. I liked these battles at first, and I slowly grew to hate them more and more as the game went on. At first, it's like, oh, it's cool. I have to like maneuver my Pokemon to try and get them to dodge the moves because they follow you, sorta. But at a certain point, you realize they will never feint your Pokemon. Instead, they target nearly exclusively you. So it's a terrible Dark Souls boss fight where they spam the same move over and over and over and over again while your Pokemon does 2 damage to them, and the fight takes an hour and you can't dodge while ordering your Pokemon around. So if you want to get that little extra damage in and you take too many hits, you have to start the whole fight over again. Not your Pokemon, you, the trainer, gets hit too many times. You have to start the whole fight over again. And this is a Pokemon baby game we're talking about. If you just don't attack and you only focus on dodging, you will never get hit ever. The only reason you lose these fights is because they take so long and you're trying to speed them up, and because of that, you get hit too many times and now you have to start over. I never lost a Pokemon battle one time, but my trainer died a bunch of times. It's extremely annoying trying to order your Pokemon around who just run around wherever they want, charge up their moves, really sluggish and annoying, while trying to dodge giant AoE attacks that come from everywhere. I'm just trying to pass through, dude. I want to catch a Bagon. Leave me alone, Salamence. I'm tired of it. I don't like it. It's not fun. I know some people think it's neat, but I'd rather just play Dark Souls if I wanted to play Dark Souls. I play Pokemon to play Pokemon. The Pokemon should fight the other Pokemon, not me. Now, maybe this would be more interesting if you had more interesting movement, you know, like roller skates, that thing that Gen 6 was known for. No, you get one dodge that you can use sometimes, as long as you're not ordering your Pokemon to do something, which you're doing. doing 99% of the time. Now, you don't actually have to worry about getting hit in the regular Pokemon battles, which is what you'll be doing most of the time. The actual gameplay loop of the game is at night. You have to battle a bunch of people to rank up in the ZA tournament. You go from Z to A, and every time you want to rank up, you have to do a boss trainer battle. You know, like a gym leader. But wow, that's a lot of gym leaders. And you have to battle a bunch of trainers just to get the right to then rank up. Now, you can get these points pretty fast, given you can sneak up in one shot to start a fight with a trainer that probably only has 3 Pokemon to begin with. I already don't like having a bunch of filler battles, but it's pretty pathetic that even at the very end of the game, you're fighting trainers with like 3 Pokemon, and really it's 2 because you're one-shotting the first member of their party before they even get to start. I don't know who thought stealth mechanics in a Pokemon game was a good idea, but either way, that's a lot of gym leaders. Z to A, that's insane. Now, of course, it's a trick. This is a Pokemon game. Remember, under promise and under deliver. Sure, you go from Z to Y, but then you jump from V to F. Yeah, so the vast majority you're just skipping through. The game like tricks you into being like, wow, this game's gonna be pretty long. Nope, sorry. The game really would have a great gameplay loop if it was just a better game, where during the day you explore, then at night you fight a bunch of Pokemon battles, and then you conclude the day with a boss battle. And then you do that all the way up until A rank and the game's over. Too bad the exploration sucks because the world is bad. The battling isn't so great either, and I guess they recognize this. That's why you skip most of the letters, and most of the game is, oh, you have a placement match. It's time to fight the boss to rank up to the next letter, but now we have to do some story stuff to go find that person. It's weird because it's not like you don't have a bunch of boss trainer battles, because it'll be like, okay, we have to go fight this guy, but first we have to do this boss battle against this trainer. I feel like they originally planned for you having to go through all of the letters, but they realized it'd just be way too much padding, which it wouldn't have to be padding if they didn't make all of the regular trainer fights a joke. I know at this point I'm just complaining to complain, but there's also way too many refights. You will fight a trainer and then have to fight that same trainer again 10 minutes later. It's like, I've trained. It's time for a rematch. I just saw you. Whatever. Enough of the gameplay. It's time to talk about what everyone really cares about, or me, which is the new Megas. And why do they look so bad? What do they do? And why do I kind of like them? I don't know why people feel the need to defend garbage. That they'll show a Mega, everyone will be like, wow, that looks really terrible. And then a bunch of people will come out of nowhere and be like, actually, I like it a lot. And now, all of a sudden, that's me. I think I got brain damage. Starmie is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love him. And then I saw the picture of the Mega, and I'm like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Why have they done this to my boy? But after fighting him as a boss, I'm like, I think I actually love this guy. He's awesome. Just look at him run. Imagine that running at you. Imagine the true fear you would feel. There's just something alluring. About it. I don't know. Also, Mega Scrafty, it just speaks to me. He's got a hoodie and it's white. Now, I'm not saying I like them all. In fact, some of them are some of the worst things I've ever seen. Mega Clefable, horrible. Mega Excadrill, look what they did to my boy. How does he move? And Mega Feraligatr is a toilet. They just made him a toilet. Why? But I think the laziest one is Mega Skarmory. I love Skarmory, but they're just like, all right, he's yellow now, and his feet are real big. Can they at least try, like, a little bit? Like, come on. Whatever. There'll be some guy who'll be like, that's my favorite. I love the color yellow. I eat mustard. I don't know, man. I think that's all I got. Don't buy this game. It's not good. It's just
You ain't getting all that, bro. You're wild. Damn, that's wild, bro. This is insane, bro. You guys are ridiculous. Who won?
The biggest counterfeiter in Pokemon history was just uncovered. For years, collectors believed that the hologram designs on graded cards were impossible to copy, with companies adding secret logos to make their slabs nearly impossible to clone. But recently, collectors started noticing slabs with cards that didn't look right. And although the holograms looked perfect, it turns out that the cards inside were completely fake. Investigators traced the listings and realized that thousands of counterfeit cards all led back to one group. See, it turns out that they had cloned the security stickers used by grading companies and sealed fake cards into real cases. But by the time they were caught, millions in fake authenticated cards had already been sold. The biggest
love Krishan. Shout out to Krishan.
So you just gonna keep stepping on
No,
Angela?
no. I didn't mean that. I just said she was a nice. We did a spiritual thing. She played me gospel.
Spiritual thing.
She played me gospel.
We know what
songs.
that means, y'all.
She played me gospel records, and I felt like, you know, we really bonded inside of a spiritual vortex. Inside of a spiritual vortex.
Have you ever fucked enough?
I would never do that to Blueface.
Cap.
I'm not even horny like that.
They ain't together though, so like you ain't doing.
It don't matter.
You wouldn't do it.
I
Though. It's too
wouldn't
close.
do that. I mean, Krishan
It's too
seems, but she seems like a nice friend, a cousin, like somebody that's just in your family. Nothing that I'm never freaky like that. I'm the last freaky person in the room.
Live a peaceful. I'm trying to live a peaceful life. But how the hell can I live a peaceful life? How can I live a peaceful life? You feel me? Straight up. Niggas don't want to let it go. Squash be with gun. You can't. Nigga, this why I respect gun though. And I'ma keep saying with every breath I take. Live a peaceful. I'm trying to live
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this.
Right now, new Bet365 customers.
Yeah, I've been knew I was a legend. 10 years old. You feel me? I knew what I wanted. I knew what I wanted to do. Knew who I wanted to be. And I did it. Shit, since I was 9, I was telling my uncle, like, man, I'm gonna be a rapper. And I did.
Yo, what's good? What's poppin'? What it is, what it ain't, what it could be, what it should be, what it would be, can Newton the Sun, Mr. Boogie Doll here with another episode of Funky Friday. And I promise, I really do promise to give good content for the masses. But ladies and gentlemen, I just promise to always keep it funky. Now, this one right here, this is something that will be appreciated for years to come, because not only is this a person that I've seen grow up, I've been a fan of, but it's Atlanta.
Nah, for real.
You dig what I'm saying? It's like you have to understand, I done seen a lot of people talk to this gentleman, but none of them really embody what we naturally share. I call it Wakanda, but we from Atlanta. This particular individual is a rapper, entrepreneur, but most importantly, he's a father and an Atlanta native. I present to some and introduce to others, YFN Lucci.
Nah, what's up, my man?
My nigga.
You good?
My boy.
Hey, you talking about?
How you thugging, bro?
Man, I'm good. I'm home, I'm blessed. You feel me? I wake up to my kid. Shit.
Yeah.
I can't ask for no more.
Is how you moving now? Thinking back to the 15, 16-year-old, did you ever imagine that you would need this much, or is this just for certain situations?
Back then, you know, I probably wouldn't think that I needed this much, you feel me? But like now, I get the picture, you feel me? I know this shit, like this shit serious, you feel me? This shit can make or break me, it can change my life forever, you feel me? I can leave a legacy for my kid. You know, when you young, you don't be thinking about shit like that, you feel me? You just be all for self, so.
I see a dynamic, or what people are seeing a dynamic is what one city has been able to produce. And I don't just jokingly say it, but I really mean it. Like, I'm a athlete or a former athlete. You know what I'm saying? You're a recording artist, right? In Atlanta, you don't know if you'll be sitting next to a congressman. You don't know you'll sit next to the Atlanta Braves pitcher. You don't know if you're sitting next to Atlanta scammer. You don't know if you sit next to a preacher. You don't know if you sit next to a principal. It's so much, it's a melting pot of blackness in a sense that I wouldn't be who I am without what I've learned from this city.
Nah, for real.
Now, you spent a lot of time in prison. Take us through, not the journey, but what did you enjoy first when you kind of came out? What were you looking forward to?
Just freedom.
Yeah.
You feel me? Waking up the next day and goddamn, ain't nobody gotta tell me you can get in the shower or you can't come out the room until 8 o'clock or, you know, just normal shit. Walking to the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Grab me something to drink out the refrigerator.
Right.
You feel me? Cause a lot of people take that type of shit for granted. You feel me? And my kids, seeing my kids and my family, shit like that.
For sure. So you've been through fame, music, trials, and now freedom. Sitting here today, how does it feel to kind of like have that normalcy of like, bro, I'm out? And are you going through not collateral damage? Are you shell shocked through what you've experienced?
Nah, I ain't shell shocked. You feel me? I feel like I had to go through what I had to go through to get to where I'm at.
I stopped by my local GameStop and couldn't believe what they had in stock. Their new Power Packs. Each Power Pack comes with 2 random Pokemon booster packs, as well as a PSA graded card that's at least an 8. It also says the top chase is a bubble meal.
That'd be nice.
Let's see what we get. I don't want to spoil the card, so I'm just going to pull the packs out. For our 2 packs, we got Surging Sparks and Destined Rivals.
And we're doing the card last.
And for those just tuning in, all month long, we're blitzing packs, we're putting the hits in a binder, and at the end of the month, we're going to be sending it to one of you. So this is... nice, we'll take that. So it's really important that we get some really epic hits, and I think this is a ton of fun. 1, who doesn't love good hits? 2, who doesn't love graded cards? And we have a good chance at something epic.
Time for our graded card.
All right, okay. Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon in a 10. Nice.
That's a good card.
And I'll quickly scan the card in the Rare Candy app.
That was epic.
See you tomorrow. I stopped by my local GameStop and couldn't
I flew all the way to Georgia for Atlanta Collecticon. I'm here to set up as a vendor, but there's one problem. This is me getting ready for the show, but I have no cards to sell. We are here to see how many cards we can buy at the show, and then how many of those we can sell within the same weekend. Will this be a huge mistake, or will this turn out to be an incredible weekend? As always, thank you all for being here. I hope you all enjoy the video. Here's my vending point of view. All right, I have an offer.
Okay. I would give you 65.
All right, what was my offer? All right. Arceus Dialga Palkia in the last one. Rayquaza, Lugia, and this Charizard. The stickers were a little over last solds, but like I think that was good. That was good. That's like $11.50, and that was just $27.80. So it was like $90.
I paid so high on that one.
I know.
I paid it when it was like $3,500. And I paid like 85%.
Oof.
Give me $100.
100. All right, flip 0 or 100. Let's go.
Yes. I'm picking up LeBron James. LeBron James downtown to the 10 for myself. He's gonna get Mega Charizard PSA 10. I'm in for this very high, so this is what it is. Some tag teams: Arceus Dialga Palkia PSA 10, and then the Rayquaza V, Lugia V Altart. We're doing a coin flip for nothing or $100 on top for on his side.
Tails. All right, so first deal of the day, a little bit of a weird one. We came in the show with no Pokemon cards. Yeah, I had one sports card that I knew Dylan wanted, so we went ahead and worked the trade. I didn't make any money on the deal. I basically just paid 100% for these cards, but I wanted a starting point for the challenge and some nice cards to start with, so. All right. All right, so this is like 1,050.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
And then, oh, this is a secret.
Yeah, it's a secret.
Nice. Okay. Probably hold off on that guy right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to make myself stick to just stuff that has like straight comps. Yeah. And the last one on this guy is 1,800.
Okay.
So, probably just tell you my best is probably just going to be a clean, say like a clean like 85%. 85 is 24.20.
Okay.
I'd round up and make it a clean like 24.50. So like 86%.
That's cool. I use that.
Nice. All right.
I doubt it. I doubt you take it, but I'll take whatever, to be honest with that.
I'll look it up. Dang, this is expensive. Holy crap.
Yeah.
It's like 5 something. 5.
Sold it was like 700 on eBay.
7? Just looking at card ladder, it looks like there's a lot of like 550s. And I know sometimes. Okay. Dragons. Sports card. I'd be a little worried to use these two because on this is Card Ladder. Because the issue sometimes eBay doesn't put if they accepted like an offer. Because aside from these two, everything is like in the mid to high 500s, and that's what I was seeing on here as well. I'd be around there. I'd be like 480 on them, like 10.
Let me hold off on that then.
You want to hold these? Okay.
Yeah, let me stop around.
Yeah.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
I can't believe how expensive these are. Like, do you know if the raw has gone up?
I think the raw's gone up. Everything's gone up. I think PSA 10's like $2,000.
Wow.
It was 1,000. Just like, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, even 1,000 was crazy because there's like, what, 30, 40,000 PSA 10, something crazy like that. Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Have a nice day. 1,000 buckos. PayPal? Venmo? Is your PayPal cooked?
It's done.
Venmo, Cash App, Zelle?
Finding cash for the show.
If you do one of those virtuals, you do 1,050. Like I can do Zelle. Let's go. Okay.
But you broke my heart when you said you're only doing 500.
Oh, okay.
So that hurt. I just saw that like last night, and you were saying you're only buying 500 PSA.
Yeah.
That really broke my heart, man.
Yeah.
This comes out to like 3,000 or something.
Okay.
That's my market. But you can take my word for it. But if you want, it's right there. But you might want to comp it yourself. Just double check.
I'll look into this fella.
Dude, honestly, I don't want to kind of like stand for minutes.
Yeah.
I literally just did your homework for you. I did like 90% of the work for you.
I got you. Yeah. Since I'm just doing PSA right now, honestly, like I might just have to grab this guy.
Okay.
But I think it's probably right around 250.
Yeah.
Like I give you $200 for that one.
Okay. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I wish I could grab more. I'm trying to make myself stay on PSA right now. But
Okay, no, I hear you out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay.
And that might not be 4 though.
Which one?
I don't think that might be 4. That might be like 330.
Really?
I think.
Probably a hold on those guys for now.
Yeah.
And this one was like 420, and that was like right at 4.
Right.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
This weekend, I'm at the Milwaukee Pokemon Trading Card Game Regional Championships. It's been a while since I've played in a regional. The last one I attended was Indianapolis in 2024, where I finished in the top 8 with Chen-Pao Baxcalibur. And a lot has changed since then. I'm a dad now. My wife Natalie and I have a beautiful son who just turned a year old. I'm also no longer grinding for the World Championships. After competing to try and be the best in the world for about a decade, I called it quits. I'm in a different season of my life now. My priorities have shifted, and the sacrifice required to make it to the World Championships just doesn't make sense anymore. In other words, I'm washed. So why am I here? For fun, right? That's the idea. But I am way too competitive to have fun while not performing my best. It's miserable. But thankfully, I've been in this situation before. I've been competing at things for as long as I can remember. When I was a kid, it was soccer games, trying out for club teams. When I got to high school, that turned into racing. track and field, cross-country meets, competing at state championships. In college, I kept running. It was the structure of my life, the way I made friends, and I was pretty fast. Not fast enough to make a career out of it, but pretty fast. By my senior year, I'd won a conference title in the 800 meters and a Division III NCAA national championship title in the distance medley relay. When I graduated, the structure I had built my life around disappeared. I had sufficiently burnt myself out on running, and I didn't know what to do. So I did a very millennial thing and got super into Pokemon. I started going to tournaments, and before I knew it, Pokemon cards were my life. I wanted to hold jobs that let me go to Pokemon tournaments on weekends. All my best friends were from Pokemon tournaments. All my extra money went to Pokemon tournaments. All my extra time went to thinking about Pokemon tournaments. Pokemon was the structure of my life now. I took all of the things I'd learned from being an athlete and applied them to being a Pokemon player. And like running, I got pretty good. I was never the best, but I was pretty good. This game has changed a lot in the 15 years I've been involved. YouTube has changed a lot in the 8 years I've been making videos.